Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Tacoimposters. So today, I went to, there's like a whole waterfront. There's a parts in like Lachine, and then there's parts in, where else? Like Lachine goes to LaSalle, or is it Lachine, or LaSalle and Lachine, then, that goes all the way to like Dorval. And it ends about Dorval, but the whole stretch of this stuff. And it's still a canal. It's the fur trading stuff. It was really cool stuff, actually. I've done that multiple times, but like, we were showing somebody, so like, oh yeah, like we're showing them all the like cool like, fur trading stuff and like, oh, cool stuff. Anyway, it's decent stuff. I don't know. It's interesting things. Check my Instagram for all this, like cool stuff. It's Vulture54. Check it for like cool like not videos. Well, maybe a time lapse, but like pictures, 360 pictures I took with this camera. Pretty good stuff. Anyway. Yeah, and then we might go tomorrow, because today is September 27th, 2020. This is Sunday, September 27th. I usually do it on the Friday, but I didn't want to do it Friday. I didn't want to do it the Saturday. Or I might have done it the Saturday, but then I had things to do it tonight. I was like, so I ended up just doing it on the Sunday. Sorry, that might actually look better. No. Sorry, anyway. Yeah, so Sunday, or on Saturday night, and so I was like, do it tomorrow, and today, so. And so tomorrow will be the Monday, and I might go to, like, up north somewhere to see, like, the colorful changing tree colors. Maybe. And there's, like, a chance of rain tomorrow, but we still might go. I don't know, anyway. Might see stuff from that, too. Anyway. So there's, like, that's what I did today. It's decent. It was decent. I mean, there's not much to do. You just, like, look into, like, the world. Look in front of you. Which is fine. It's just, if you don't have anything to do, even if it's just a hike and somebody explained things to you, it would be better than just nothing. Because it's literally nothing, so. It's like going camping and not going on a guided hike. It's like going to a national park and not having somebody explain stuff to you. Right? You know what I mean? It would be like, alright. Anyway. It's a good thing if you like nature. If you just like to be in nature, like to be in. And it's not exactly the most nature-y, but it's at least better than sitting in the downtown Montreal or any of those kind of places, right? Which I love that too. That stuff's crazy. I love that stuff too, but yeah. Yeah, so that was what I did today. It's okay, I guess. It's not my favorite thing to do. It's one of the things that I do like twice a summer, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. It's like my friend, right? My best friend would always be like, he'd go do some big thing. So he'd do the road or a water park or like something like that. He'd be like once. He'd be like, okay, I'm done. I don't care. And I'm like, what? But you, because he'd have multiple opportunities to do these things. Also, those things aren't necessarily cheap. So it's not like you can just do these things. Like, oh yeah, I got like 300 more. I got all them. I can do it 3 more times, right? And they're not exactly cheap. So it's not like he was going to go do this. He had the like means to do this all the time financially. Like me, I didn't have the means to do it financially all the time. But if it was like a water park and then like a regular park, I was always kind of like, my parents were always kind of like, what's a different thing? So you can do that. They were nice enough to be like, well, yeah, you can do both of those things because they're not the same thing. But they also kind of had this, yeah, but if it's like LaRonde is our Six Flags here, right? It's a Six Flags, right? And if they're like, but if it was LaRonde like 3 times, it was like, okay, Or at that point they would look into like, okay, what's a pass like, and what's a season pass, and all that kind of stuff, right? So, yeah. And that's the other thing. LaRonde is not like somewhere like Disney World or Universal Studio where you can do other things than just ride rides and that kind of stuff and eat food. You can like go and do things. These places like the Six Flags where you go for the rides and maybe the food, maybe. But yeah, you go for the rides. You don't go for anything else. So that's the other thing too, where it's like, it doesn't justify itself if you don't ride everything. Like the one time I went to LaRonde, we went on everything. But that was because there was not everything, but we went on nearly everything. Because the one wooden coaster, it's called the Monster, was not running that day, and I was just like, what? who the? Because that was the one to go on. But no. Anyway. So you go on like all the regrets. Because it was like a weird freak like middle day. Because also late in the summer. It was like one of the last weeks of August. Second, like third or fourth week of August. Kind of like one of the last days of August too. And I went with a youth group, right? And they were, I mean, it wasn't like a middle day. Like a middle level day. Like it wasn't hugely full, but it wasn't like empty. One of those weird freak days that people get at like Disney World where there's like literally nobody. Some people can get those. And I'm always just like, but how do you know? There's no knowing. I personally don't think there's any knowing. Oh yeah, well, this day, maybe in like the year, like okay, this day and this day are great for like virtually nobody, but I always hated when somebody would say something like, "Oh, go now because everybody knows," or "Get this then," but then it's like, well, if everybody gets told this time, that time switches to the time it was. No, anyway, like you know what I'm saying? It's like if everyone's told, okay, go this time because nobody's there, everybody goes that time because nobody's there, right? Then that time becomes the full time. Anyway, not gonna go there. So yeah, yeah, La Ronde. I like La Ronde, but I don't know. There's not much to do in La Ronde other than ride rides. Like that's the point, right? It's not Disney World or Universal Studios where you can go into like shops and go into places and go into like meet characters, meet this. No, I mean there's things to do in like Halloween. Cause they go all the way up till Halloween for La Ronde. Which I never understood how they stayed open for the rest of that, like the time between. Cause they opened in about like that last week of May, I think, or like the first week of June, and then like Halloween. And I never understood how you could do anything in the whole month of October. Like does any like is they getting? Maybe they just get enough stuff just to like justify staying open. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. Yeah. So yeah, I was watching a Billiam, like video that came out. I think it was today anyway, and it was on talking about Lilo and Stitch. And for some reason, I never liked Lilo and Stitch. It was not. It was like the Disney thing I didn't want to watch because there's a lot of Disney that I'm just like, oh, I almost have this like feeling of like I don't need to watch it. I need to watch this. No, I don't care. Like I don't need to watch this. I don't care. Where there's other ones that I don't particularly like, but I still was like, I should watch this at least once, just to be like the, person. It's like the people who always talk about, oh, I hate this. Have you seen it? I hate this book. Have you read it? It's the Twilight phenomenon that everybody in the early 2000s hated, or there was a group of people who hated Twilight with a passion, okay? They hated the Twilight saga with a passion. But then you get those people go, did you read it? But did you read it? But did you read it? And they'd always be like, well, no, but I know it's garbage. No. Read the thing, and then have an opinion on it. You can't have an opinion on it if you haven't read it. It's like when your mom goes, or your parents go, well, you can't know until you try. You gotta try it. Like the food, you gotta try it. I'm like, yeah. I mean, that one's a little bit like PV-offy because like my parents do that to me all the time. But anyway, there's that. Like I don't know, something about it, and there's something about like the Hawaiian thing that I didn't like. I don't know, because some Disney movies, like some of the Disney movies that I didn't care for, but I still watched. Like I don't care for Cinderella really, but I watched it again recently on Instagram, and I was like, we streamed on Instagram, and I was like, it's okay. I mean, that's a princess movie, so it was kind of more like whatever. But I did see the whole like the art style was like nice, but like was good. It looked nice, but like I was like, don't care about the story. Don't care about this. That. Not that it's a bad story or a bad movie. It's just I don't care for it personally. It's like Dumbo. I watched Dumbo again, or like 7 years ago. It was Dumbo and Pocahontas. Oh, it was 3 of them I remember watching because I wanted to watch a different one, which we didn't have or didn't work. It was Aladdin that I couldn't watch for some strange reason. My tape didn't work or something to that effect. I was watching all VHS before my mom literally got rid of like 600 VHS tapes. That's a peeve off, but anyway. So it was Dumbo, it was Pocahontas, and it was Mulan. And Mulan, I didn't hate, but it's kind of the one where I'm like, I never have to see this ever again. So when I heard them talk about or making a Mulan like a live action Mulan, I was like, why though? Does this merit a remake? Does this justify remaking? Like, is there enough people who really care, or is this kind of one of those things that they kind of because they were doing a lot of the like that same era, except not the first one, and not Cinderella that they remade. I've talked about these remakes before, but it was its era. It was like the Aladdin. They're making a Little Mermaid. They did the Lion King, and then they did Mulan, and I was like, is it an era thing? Oh, we want the like weird '80s post Disney, post Walt Disney things, right? Because they had the first one of those that I remember was Cinderella, and I did not think. Well, I mean, okay, Cinderella I didn't really care about. I was like, you can do whatever you want with it. Oh, they also did redid Dumbo too. Yeah, they did, but they did that like I don't know something about it. Like I don't be surprised if they remake literally every classic Disney movie. You know, you got your Snow Whites, you're gonna get your Bambis, you're gonna get your oh, they did do the new story of Maleficent, which was well, that's not Disney, was it? Or maybe it was. Like not Into Woods, that was a whole different thing. Maleficent for like Sleeping Beauty, and then they made Maleficent 2 or like a. Did they connect that one more directly to Sleeping Beauty? I have no idea. I have no idea because I really don't care. Those were just my friend saw the first one and he was just like, it's okay, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. Like, well, from what I heard, and a lot of people said it was just okay. And then other ones like Lion King. No, a lot of people thought Lion King was just stupid. Like, why are you remaking the Lion King? This makes no sense. There's no point. But with the Jungle Book, people were just like, wait, but why? In this why though? In this like, oh, you picked a random one. That was like that's kind of random. Like people would want to see that, but apparently it was like a well put together version. Again, not that there was a reason to make it, in my opinion, and a lot of people thought that, but they were like, yeah, it works better than like whatever random movie that they had, right? I don't know. It works better than a lot of those stupid sequels, direct-to-DVD, like late 90s, early 2000s sequels, you know, Return of Jafar for Aladdin, and like the Jungle Book 2, and like Cinderella 2 and 3. It made it into a freaking trilogy. Oh my god. Anyway, but I mean, I could talk about those forever, but Lilo and Stitch, yeah, there's something about the Hawaiian thing that I did not like, which is probably why I didn't like Pokemon Sun and Moon, just for some strange like childhood thing of like I can't do it. I don't know. There's something about it I just didn't like. I don't know. Because there was like that. There was a Disney movie called Johnny Capahala. I only ever saw Johnny Capahala Back on Board. Now that implies that there was a second one. But I remember as a kid always like every like so often just being like, was there a first one? Or did you just make a really stupidly convoluted name that just was like, well, I don't know if convoluted is the right word, but like stupidly backwards name where it's like, wait, does that imply there's a second one? Now, movies that imply there could be a second one with like the names, I don't mind those. I mean, yes, they're bad, like they're stupid to me, but at least those make sense in relation to like we don't have to. When you do the ones where you imply that there was a first one, and there's a first one, but it's like obviously implied, and you're like, wait, but why? I'm confused as to why you would. But don't imply that and not give us something. I don't know. But anyway, there was Johnny Capola, which was like a surfing movie. It was surfing, and then it was like there was a point of downhill. What? I don't even know what they call it. Off-road skateboard? What do they call it? Skateboarding? Mountain boarding? I think it's called mountain boarding or something to that effect. I don't know if you've ever seen Sam Tabor's video on. He did like an off-roading mountain board. Just look up Sam Tabor mountain boarding, right? Or like extreme boarding or something like that. Because there's two versions. He did one with like giant wheels, and then he had one with treads. And the treads aren't the things I'm talking about. I'm talking about the like huge. They're like a thick mountain biking wheels that are like 6 inches thick, like those kind of things. And I would watch it and I'd just be like, oh god, I don't know, something about it I just did not like. Because he's talking about all like the weird sequels. Because there were two sequels to. Well, there was like a direct-to-DVD movie, and then there was a sequel, Lilo and Stitch 2. And it was just one of those movies that just was like, no, I don't need to see this. I don't ever need to see this. Which again, well, that's also because, I was going to say, which again baffled me because I watched everything, but it wasn't really a movie that they showed a lot on. Because I had Family Channel, not Disney Channel as a child. And I've already explained that, probably the last one or the previous podcast, or recent podcasts, I talked about how Family Channel did not do solely Disney stuff. It was like Family Channel with the magic of Disney is how they, because their commercial or their tagline thing, commercial thing was, "You're watching family with the magic of Disney," which to me as a kid always implied, oh, there's like Disney in this, but we can do other things too. We can, which is why they pulled out things like Zoe 101 and Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, because they pulled out things from Nickelodeon, from little like and random movies here and there, and like Disney had this like big thing of Disney DComs, Disney comedies, like Disney coms, DComs, right? And so, for me, I remember never like seeing that movie very often. So, and for me, and I did see it, I just be like, no, forget it. Because they made a TV show of Lilo and Stitch, and it's very mixed with Lilo and Stitch. If you like Lilo and Stitch, it's a decent thing connected to Lilo and Stitch. But a lot of people say, like, but it's not a great, like, continuation of Lilo and Stitch. But nobody says it's like, oh, this is awful. This is like a horrible abomination of Lilo and Stitch. They're just fine with it. They're like, it's not great. But and other people are like, it's decent if you like Lilo and Stitch. It's like, meh. I don't know. Something about Lilo and Stitch I did not like. There was a few of those. Like, Disney or just classic animation stuff that I would, or just classic things in general that I was like, I don't care. Like, yeah. Because it was better than, at least it was better than things like those stupid direct-to-DVD stuff. Like, there was Pocahontas 2 and, like, Mulan 2 and, like, it was just a lot of people talk about those things in this they're baffled in this, like, but why? Why are you making a, there was supposed to be a Dumbo 2, but it never came out. But there's a trailer, I don't know if it's the, like, Silver Edition or the, Masterpiece Edition, but one of the VHS remakes, or remasters of Dumbo. I think it was the Masterpiece Edition. I think, I don't know, this is like 7 years, this is like 2013. Right. Yeah, but, 7 years ago I watched it. And then we got rid of it, so I don't know, but I can find it again. Anyway, they had the actual trailer for Dumbo. And I was just like, there's a Cancel Movies wiki. They also they were going to make a Popeye movie, which never went anywhere. Cancel Movies. Wiki fandom. There you go. Changes. No. Where's the, like, popular? Most visited article. Where is it? Supposed to be Smurfs 2? Oh. Supposed to be Incredibles 2. Anyway. Animated films. Where's Dumbo? Oh. There's supposed to be an Alice in Wonderland sequel? Or connection somewhere? Anyway. Where's the search on this? Oh, come on. Where's the frickin' one that I want? Where's the one? Come on, community reports discuss. Where's, like, use source history? No. Anyway. Yeah, there's supposed to be a Popeye movie. I don't. Yeah, the thing that always baffles me is when they have full on like trailers. Like they made something. That's the thing that baffles my mind whenever they get canceled. He's like, okay, fine, if it's in the stages of just like, man, whatever. Chicken boys. There's supposed to be Chicken Little too. There's supposed to be a Yellow Submarine 2012 remake. East of the Sun and West of the Moon. Let's go to the animated movies. Where's the most popular? Oh, it's supposed to be Space Jam 2, yeah. There was supposed to be like New Zelda movie, yes. Well, there were rumors of this for years. Absolutely years. D. What? Where's D? Oh, there. What? Dumbo's not on this? What? Oh, I was supposed to be a Skate Jam movie, yeah. Deep. Don Quixote. Dracula the Animated Musical. Doofus. What? I was here. Oh, there. Dumbo. Yeah, Dumbo 2. There it is. Anyway. Yeah, it's supposed to come out in 2006. Okay. Oh, no. Scheduled release in 2001. However, the production was delayed many times and was cancelled in 2006 after John Lasseter, yeah, the CEO of... Or was it John Lasseter? Yeah, CEO of Disney Animated Studios. The only piece of evidence that are open to the public are a trailer that was shown on the... there you go. On the opening to the public... Oh, sorry. On the 2001 VHS and DVD release of Dumbo 60th Anniversary Edition. That's it. That's what it was on. But it could have been in like the Masterpiece collection. I don't know. They made so many. They made like first was like Remastered, and then like The Vault, and then like Masterpiece, and like Silver Screen, Silver Classics, and Gold and Diamond Edition. I don't know. It's dumb. But yeah, okay. The plot. Sometime after the events of the first Dumbo, Timothy Q. Mouse met a series of other baby animals, that are going through different childhood stages, and wound up getting lost in New York. While the animals try to find their way back home, each character would find out to fix their problems. In addition, it would provide an explanation on what happens in Dumbo's father, Mr. Dumbo. Yeah, that's the thing too. They didn't ever get to that point. That movie's just weird. It's the whole mom's in solitary confinement, and the child separated from the mom, and then he goes and gets drunk. Oh god, that was a bad. They did a lot of those things. You go look back at some of those things, and you're just like, how did you get any of that past? How? You go for things like, Alice in Wonderland, where the frickin' caterpillar's smoking the hookah and he's like frickin' high. Oh, he's high. The Cheshire Cat's probably also high, because he looks high. I don't know if he is high, but he looks high. Then you go to things like Dumbo, where he drinks the Pink Elephant Parade. He's drunk. He's 100% drunken hallucinations. But then there's things like... Then there's a little bit more subtle things, like in The Three Caballeros. So if you got Disney Plus, I highly recommend watching. Well, I don't know which one you should watch first, because one's kind of a predecessor, but not really. There's The Three Caballeros, and then there's the Saludos Amigos, which they're... I don't know which one's first. I think you should watch The Three Caballeros, then Saludos Amigos, because it explains a bunch of things from Three Caballeros. But Three Caballeros is more of a movie. Saludos Amigos is more of a documentary about the 40s going to South America. Anyway. The point I'm getting at is, in the end of Three Caballeros, or Three Caballeros, whatever it's called, Three Caballeros, Donald Duck, basically from the last third of the movie, the last, third of the movie, the whole, last quarter of the movie, is just Donald Duck fawning over women, which is weird to begin with, because you're looking at it, you're just like, I I'd always stop at that point because I'd be like, this is just boring at that point. This is dumb. The funny is gone. The entertainment is gone. I don't care. But I used to watch it just to be like, what? Just to be completely confused. I remember as a kid, every time, just being like, why is he doing this? What is going on? Anyway, Finding a Woman. Because there's 3 cousins, I think it is. One's Brazil and one's Mexico. Mexican guy shows them, like, the beaches. And he's like, oh, yeah, the beaches. And he goes, the women. And then Donald's like, oh, the women? Oh, my... Like, and he just fawns about it. Anyway, there's a part at the end of that section where he's, like, sniffing flowers, and he's, like, hallucinating, and he's definitely high smoking these flowers. Like, he's huffing these flowers. It's a ridiculous, like, what? How? Like, it's definitely a thing that I looked at and went, oh, he's like because I remember watching it as a kid and knowing what drunk was, but not necessarily knowing what high was, right? So as a kid, then I'm like 6, 7, 8 when I'm watching this, right? Around that age. And I remember just being like, oh, he's it's the same idea as being drunk, but I didn't know what it was. I was like, he's, hallucinating. I know people could hallucinate too. Like, they could go crazy and hallucinate. So I kind of just threw it off as, like, he's just a hallucinating quacko duck. And also, I was like, it was like the kind of thing where you do the whole thing of, like, oh, it's just like a cartoon, whatever. None of this makes sense. None of this ever makes sense. None of this has to make any sense. Which, I don't know. Anyway, but then as I got older, I'm like, Frankie's high. He's so high. So there's a lot of things in Disney. I was like, how did you get away with any of, like, half the stuff you got away with? How did you get away with half the stuff you got away with? It's crazy. But then there were things like, going back to, like, sequels, then there were things like, or sequels in random movies that got canceled, right? There were things like, the Woody Woodpecker movie, which I thought got canned, or at least, I don't know, it got canned, but no, apparently it came out in 2017. I was like, what? How? When? What? Oh, yeah. Okay, the art on this page that I'm on, oh my god, it's showing some of the stupid things that came out that just made no sense. Anyway, so there was like that, where it's like, what? I thought it was canned. Because, okay, as a kid, I remember movie theaters either having coming soon, right? And that coming soon date, like when it actually did come out, would always be like at least 5 years in the future. At least. Like minimum 5 years in the future. Right? Right? And then I remember 5, 6, 7 years in the future these dates would be up. I remember this. I distinctly remember this. But now, it's like 2 years. A year and a half. 6 months. So, anyway. But I guess you could argue, yeah, but you could find out about these things online. For, like, I could find out about Disney's stuff for 10 years if I really looked hard enough. So, I guess you could argue. Just that the theater, like, trailers would always be these, like, maybe I was a kid, and these dates seems farther away also. Maybe it's like 2 years, 3 years. But even that, like, that's significant compared to what we get now, which is, like, the best is a year. Oh, yeah. There's supposed to be a SpongeBob Square... No, SpongeBob... No. Game Boy Advance 2000. Oh, an hour ago. Oh, no, sorry, no. I'm looking at the things on the side. I'm like, what? No. But, yeah. Was Planes Pixar? Was Disney? Okay, I'm just because it showed me just something here, which was like, it showed me Planes, and I thought Planes was the dumbest thing. They were trying to what's the word? Cash in on like, no, I'll go back. I'm trying to see if it's, oh, Walt Disney Pictures. Okay, it wasn't Pixar. Okay. Cash in on like Cars. At least they did a better job than something like JJ Jet Plane, where because that's the thing. JJ Jet Plane, if you remember that show, was a creepy, weird, like version of like Thomas the Tank Engine. It did not work whatsoever. I remember so many kids just being like, "That was freaky," or "That was just weird." Anyway, Planes was trying to be exactly like Cars, so it looked more like Cars, right? And I think my friend saw the first one, and he was just kind of confused and like, huh? What? Because he loved the first Cars, because the first Cars is a decent movie. A lot of people don't like it because it was kind of just like meh, but the first one's decent. I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but it's a decent movie. It's probably up there in my list of like animated movies. Now there's a difference animated movies and favorite movies of all time and non-animated favorite movies. So that one's up there. I don't know if it's like I don't even know if it's in my top 10 just because it's to me it's just kind of okay. It's great. Don't get me wrong. It's just I don't know if it's that great. Anyway, then they made a Planes 2, did they not? They did. Called it Fire and Rescue, right? Rusty was the guy's name, right? Was the trailer's name? Or was it trailer? Was the main character's name, right? Rusty? Was it Rusty? I think so. Yeah. And they thought they could milk it like they did Cars. Because there's some Disney things that they could milk forever. Like they could always have a Cars thing in a store somewhere, like a Walmart or something. They could always have Cars, or they could always have Toy Story, like for the rest of time, and they'd make some money off of it. And I feel like they thought they could milk this thing the same way. Like, oh, people love Cars, so just take the kids who love Planes and there you go. You've got a whole different new demographic. No, it went nowhere. Nobody cared. It merited a second one though, which to me was baffling because I'm like, but why? Huh? How? What? Huh? What? Why? But why would you? Okay, why? Okay. Anyway, but again, maybe there was like a minimum justification for the second one, and Disney, like the people were like, well, if you make this, you've got enough to make a second one, or they had a second one in the bag from the beginning. Could have done one of those, and then looked at the second one and went, ooh, okay, no, and they're not making a third. They saw how bad. What's the Rotten Tomato score of it? It for Planes, it is. It is. Ooh. The critic score is a 25. Ooh. And the audience score is a 49. And that's 72,000 user ratings. Yikes. That's not the worst I've seen, but oh boy. That's not good. That is definitely not good. Anyway. Yeah, it was just baffling. I was like, why is this a thing? And then it's on Disney Plus, right? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I don't know. Just blew my mind. And then Cook. Okay, Brad Garrett. Oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. No, she was in that movie. Oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Okay. Yeah, because it did have a thing. Like it had enough like merchandising, but they didn't milk it like everything else they could milk. I don't know. Don't know. Anyway. So to me, that movie just like was very just strange. I was like, Yeah, and they tried to connect it, like, they tried to make it from what I heard, I didn't ever seen this, but from what I heard, they connected it slightly with, like, the Cars universe. But not really, but kind of. Like, it's in the same, like, general ballpark, but it's not necessarily the same universe. But they got cars in it that look exactly the same. They could have made it like a universal thing, like connected cars with it. I don't know. Anyway, to me, it's just strange. But anyway, go back to, yeah. To. Yeah, I think there's supposed to be a Planes 3. Because if we go back to, like, popular and then animated films, or most visited articles, there's supposed to be a Last Airbender 2. Was that the movie Last Airbender? The really bad one? Amazing Spider-Man 3, I know about that one. Everybody talked about, oh, there's a 3. There's a, like, everyone was like, no, there's a 3, because I think the plot had leaked somewhere, or, like, somebody knew the plot, or people knew the plot. Oh, yeah, it's the Sinister Six, and with the Rhino, and all them Venom, and I think Venom. I'm not sure, though, but, like, that whole thing. Yeah, there's supposed to be a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Yeah, there was that, too. The Uncle Ruckus movie? Who was Uncle Ruckus? You were supposed to be Madagascar 4 because... Who the heck is Uncle Ruckus? It's a canceled live-action comedy film in 2013 based on the titular character from Adult Swim's animated sitcom, The Boondocks. Oh, yes. The uncle from The Boondocks. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, where is it? Most articles for it. Yeah, Madagascar 4. Well, because Madagascar did a... First one was great. And second one, I actually prefer the second one to the first one. And then the third one was just weird. And again, the third one had this problem of being... Now, it wasn't the worst amount of time. It wasn't like a Spy Kids problem, where Spy Kids had like 5-10 years, like 8 or 10 years, something, from the last movie. Like, that was bad. Okay, it wasn't 8 years, like 5 to 8 years. Anyway, somewhere around there. Where the fourth one and the third one, and like the gap was too big. There, the gap was just big enough for a lot of people to be like, why? Yeah, Smurfs 4 or 3. Yeah. A Cat in the Hat. Okay. Okay, I see. Unknown year release. The Reno 911 SOS. Okay, Gump and Company. Gump and Company, like Forrest Gump? Me and Mac 2. Ghostbusters 2 2020s. That's not cancelled, was it? Oh, Ghostbusters 2 2020s. Wait, what? Game Boys. Godzilla 2 and 10 Things I Hate About You. Okay, no. What is this? Is a cancelled sequel to the 2016 reboot. Okay, that was announced shortly after the first film was released in theaters. Apparently people said that it was a stupid connecting with Ghostbusters. Like I say a lot of times, I think that the problem with people hating reboots, remakes, video game adaptations, movie adaptations, TV show adaptations of books, of movies, of video games, is they're connecting it with the source material too much, to the point where it's either so close to the source material, like for games, a lot of times it's so close to source material that it's not a game anymore, or not a movie, or the movie has no action, the movie has no plot, or the movie whatever, right? And so a lot of people had that problem with this, where it was like, Ghostbusters, though? You're trying to crap on Ghostbusters. And I think I've said this before. My best friend, who went to see the movie... Oh, no. Let me preface this. It was it a year before? Or 2 years before? No, a year before. A year before the movie came out, they announced that there was going to be a Ghostbusters movie. And it was all-female cast. No. Okay, so it's all-female cast. And he laughed like... What are they? Nutsos? Like, right. I think it was because, and then he saw it, and didn't think the females were bad. But I think that was because he liked the females. It was the what's her name, Melissa McCarthy, and the black woman on SNL. I don't know her name, Wendy something. No, anyway, and I think the woman who plays Hillary Clinton on SNL. Anyway. Whatever those people's name were, there's 4 of them. maybe even Amy Schumer. I don't know. Anyway, and so he said something like, Are you gonna go see that movie?" And I went, "Nope." And I didn't even say anything remotely close to the fact of like, "Oh, this is a about of females of I don't like the idea of this." No, nothing, none of that, not a thing. Like I say, nope, not really. And I think he might have said something like, "Well, why?" And I just kind of was like, "No, I don't want it. I think it's a bad. I don't want to see it. I think it looks like a terrible movie, right? Or doesn't look like a good movie." I think I said something like that. And I think the first word after that came out of his mouth was, "You're just sexist." I think he literally said, or no, it was because you're female, eh? It's because of females, eh? And I went, "No," because it looks like a bad movie. He goes, "You're just sexist." And I went, whoa, excuse me? I think I literally said to the guy, "You said a year ago when I told you about this that it was the worst idea. Not the worst idea, but you just laughed at it like, what are they, nuts?" Because I think he said it more, but I think he said it more of in like a, why? What are they thinking? Why? No, not female. Why? Nada, this is crazy. So I think that was his like justification. I never said it was like they were nuts and crazy and like, or I think he might have also spun that and just to be like, "Well, I didn't say it in a sexist way." Like, I'm like, how could you not take that in a anyway, this is stupid. Anyway, but yeah. And people who've seen it, so if you watch or listen to Strike Back podcast with Andy Schrock and Ryan Chambers, Andy Schrock saw it and Ryan Chambers did not. And Andy always just kind of talked about it like, it's the like vague, bizarre connection to Ghostbusters that just, it's the stupid thing that they did in the like early, well, this is not early, it's 2016, but early to mid 2010s, where they did this stupid thing of connecting random things to random things. Alvin Chipmunk started before that, but Alvin Chipmunk was one of those. I think it started in either 8 or 9, but it went to like, I think there's one in 2010 maybe, or 11. Anyway, those movies, there's the live action Alvin and the Chipmunks, there's the Smurfs, there's the, what else? The Muppets. Now, the Muppets wasn't horrible. People say the Muppets isn't horrible. People don't like the Muppets particularly, but they don't think it's horrible. But these one, like, but Ghostbusters was one that was like, why did you connect it to this? Why? Like, why are you connecting this with things? It was like the early 2000s, if you saw the Yogi Bear movie in, what was that, like 2007 or 8 or something? Anyway, it was like the weird stuff of connecting it to these franchises. First of all, that are really old, and just like, why are you bringing this back? It's the same problem people have with the Pink Panther movies with Steve Martin. They're just like, first of all, why Pink Panther? Second of all, they're just bad, like, weirdly stupid. That don't make, like, they're just, I don't know. And people don't like how Steve Martin kind of butchered the whole thing a bit. Like, they're like, I don't know about that, you know. Not that he did a horrible job. I think the first one's a decent movie. I don't think it's good necessarily, but I think it's like, it's a laughable movie. You can watch, laugh off, and just be like, whatever, it's done. Which is fine. I mean, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's not bad. Second one's awful. God awful mess. I don't like that movie. Second Steve Martin Pink Panther is no good. But anyway, so yeah, there's this one, Ghostbusters 2. Yeah, from this 2016, it was canceled. Why? Plans for Ghostbusters Shared Universe, as well as the sequel, were canceled due to the controversy of box office failure of the first one. Yeah, it also didn't do very well, the first one, and so they kind of looked at it like, what's the point? But I remember at a certain time, there was like, there was the Woody Woodpecker movie, the Popeye movie, and the Peanuts movie. And the only one I heard of was the Peanuts movie, because the Peanuts movie had like a date that was like 6 months later. Every other one was like, I think at that time this is, I think, this is about 2015, like this is like March or April 2015. So I think Popeye had a stupidly long date, and I think Woody Woodpecker had like, or no, or Popeye didn't have a date, and Woody Woodpecker had like a stupidly far away date, or vice versa. I think Popeye had a stupidly long date, and Woody Woodpecker didn't have a date, so we're just like, whatever. Anyway, and I think at that time I also had this like mentality of, yeah, well, if I see a trailer for something, it will exist, right? It will exist, right? It will exist, right? And you didn't. I was like, oh. At least the Popeye one didn't. The other two did, apparently. Well, at least I saw the Peanuts movie in theaters in 2015, and I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I didn't particularly like the animation style, but I mean, hey, that was just a. Yeah, so, right? Okay, let's see if it comes up. What? I don't know. Wait, there's no? No, it's Warner Bros. I'm confused now because I'm looking at the Super Mario Bros. Ones. Super Mario Bros. Oh yeah. In December 2017, Sony decided to make a deal with Nintendo on making a CGI Super Mario Bros. Movie. Canceled movie fandom. What? There was not gonna. Wait, I'm confused now. Is that happening? I think it's still happening. But maybe that version was completely canned. Sony is working on a. There you go. Sony is working on a Popeye, which was also canceled and got moved to King Features Syndicated. Universal and Illumination Studios are making an animated Mario film that it's scheduled for 2022. Right. So I see I was right. Universal, that's Warner Bros. No, Universal and Illumination Studios, or Illumination Entertainment. What do they call them? Anyway, yeah, yeah, Popeye. Okay. Popeye. I don't know. There are a lot of these weird like canceled things. Give me a page. The Man Who Would Be King. Why it was canceled? Nobody knows. That page is tiny. Okay, give me another one. Michael Myers versus Pinhead. Oh, it was supposed to be Michael Myers versus Pinhead movie. Interesting. I don't care because I don't know much about either of those people. Really much. Give me another random page. Smurfs 3. Yep, there's supposed to be a Smurfs 3. Like they, because they thought they could milk Smurfs for all it was worth. I hope they keep Smurfs 3 canceled because I'm reading the comments, because I see no appeal to the first two live action ones. They look like dread and shame. Yeah. I saw the second one in theaters, and I didn't think it was the worst movie ever, but I looked at it and I went, again, why are you making the Smurfs? But you couldn't do that otherwise. Which, like, you couldn't just make it a random thing. No, that's not one of the kind you could make into a random thing. To make money. What is up with Smurfs 3? To make money. I agree. Okay. Probably will not. I could be wrong, but I feel like it's slightly possible that the film could be revived because Ghostbusters 3 was revealed long after it had originally been cancelled. However, again, this film is not likely to be revived. No. Yeah, cause this I could see like some person being like, "Oh, we can make a third one," and then like the gap would be huge. Like I feel like it could be humongous. Like whatever, 24. What was that? 13, 12, 13, somewhere around there. And then like 2027 or 2030 or 37 or something. Stupidly long time in that. And it's kind of connected to the other one, but not really. Nickelodeon 20th Century Fox joint venture movies. There were joint venture movies like what? Viacom, yeah. Results. Why the movies were canceled. What movies were they? Okay, Nickelodeon launched its movie arm, Nickelodeon Movies, in 1995. The Nickelodeon Doug movie was permanently canceled. Instead, Disney released its own Doug movie called Doug's First Movie in 1999. Yeah, I heard of that one. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading something on the other side, like the stupid pop-up ads, like the clickbaity things. Like, what is this? Anyway, yeah, okay. Nickelodeon released the Rugrats movie in 1998 and spawned two sequels. Rugrats Paris, the movie, the CGI movie, was going to be released in 2001, but it was canceled. Oh, I didn't have two sequels. No, maybe not. The Ren and Stimpy movie was permanently canceled. In 2003, Spike TV, per Paramount Network, and John Kay tried to revive the episode Life Sucks as a TV movie. Wait, Spike TV to revive the episode Life Sucks. Wait, the episode of what? Ren and Stimpy? I'm confused. Life Sucks. Yeah, prequel of the episode Ren Seeks Help of Ren and Stimpy. Adult party cartoon. But at the time, Adult Party cartoon was negatively received by the Ren and Stimpy fans, and later Spike TV canceled the show. Only was made 8 minutes of the draft, and the voice acting was completed. In 2020, a Ren and Stimpy reboot of Comedy Central was announced, with Billy West returning to voice both characters. But John Kay will not be involved with the reboot due to his 2018 sexual harassment and pedophilia allegations. Oh boy. Okay. I don't care. Yeah, there were supposed to be a few things here. Give me that one. Beauty and the Beast, 1984. Beauty and the Beast was a planned adaptation of the fairy tale of the same name that was to be directed by Don Bluth. Oh yes. That's the other thing that people don't understand ever. They're like, they think Disney owns these things now. Like, oh, Disney owns all the princesses now, right? It's like, no. They're still public domain intellectual properties that I can use. Yeah, Mac and Me 2. I don't care. I don't know Mac and Me at all, so don't ask me. Mumbai Musical. Mumbai Musical. The musical is a proposed story based on the Ramayana, but the story was told through the point of view of monkeys. To common monkeys become unlikely heroes in a last-ditch effort to stop an ancient, so thought to be mythical demon from conquering the world. Why was it cancelled? Money. A lot of these are all money. They use money. Or interest. Nobody cares anymore. Or these things take too long, and it's not a franchise they actually care about. So they're like, oh, whatever. The Little Broomstick. Was that supposed to be like a Brave Little Toaster thing? Let me see. Oh no, in 1990, Mary Stewart published The Little Broomstick. Oh, the film rights were acquired. Walt Disney Productions in 1980. Director Wolfgang Retherman decided to make an animated adaptation of the story after the release of The Fox and the Hound. I like The Fox and the Hound. I think The Fox and the Hound's a pretty good movie. I don't think it's great, but I think it's pretty good. The studio deemed the project being too similar to the promise of bed knocks and broomsticks. Oh. Premise of bed knocks and broomsticks. Disney wanted the animated department to produce the Black Cauldron. Oh yeah. People hate on that movie. People say it's the dark ages of Disney. I don't think the Black Cauldron is that bad. Now, don't get me wrong. There was a thing with these like knights. It was knights and pirates for like ever, and it's still knights and pirates. But that I think that I don't know, something about that is like that's one of the reasons why I don't like. I think they overdo knights. Oh yeah, Jurassic Park Tim Burton film, an animated one. Before Michael Crichton's novel Jurassic Park was published. Yeah, Hollywood studios were highly interested in purchasing the film rights. This included Warner Bros. And Burton, Sony Pictures Entertainment, and Richard Donner, and 20th Century Fox and Joe Dante. The plot would never been the same as the book. The plot would have been the same as the book. I feel like it would have been interesting to see one closer to the book. Because if you read Jurassic Park, so many people die, and the island gets blown up. Spoiler alerts. The island gets blown up at the end, so like, oh, you acquired the rights in May 1990. This, which four seasons were okay. Universal Pictures released Jurassic Park in summer of 1993. Yeah, I would have wanted to see that. Anyway. Another code to memories. I don't know what that is. I'm not even going to go to code to memories. Was an upcoming motion captured animated film that was in development at Universal Animation Studios. It would have been based on the point-and-click adventure game of the same name. Another code? Or two memories? Anyway. Don't care. Freddy Goes to Washington. Looks like a frickin'... looks very... have you ever seen, Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Mr. Toad, his face looks very much like Mr. Toad, but his whole look looks very Mr. Toady-esque. It was placed a little into production just as the film was being released. Oh no, sorry, wait. Freddy Goes to Hollywood was a proposed sequel. Freddy as FR07. What? First film proved to be a critical and commercial disaster. The film received extremely negative reviews. What is this movie? Is it this? I'm confused now. Is it this? What is this? Freddy as... Oh, Freddy as. Who made this movie? Who made the first movie? Film received... Okay, who made this movie? They don't say who made it. I don't know. Oh, maybe it says here. Freddy is a British animated musical action fantasy film written and directed by John Akevisk and starring the voices of Ben Kingsley. I heard Ben Kingsley inspired by bedtime stories. Who made this? I'm confused. Who made this? Produced by. Oh, no. Distributed by. Rank Films. Miramax Films. That's the guy I wanted to know. Silly Hillbillies on Mars. That reminds me of the... I think that'll be for now, guys. So, link in the description. There's... If you want to get in contact with me, there's the email, Discord,